What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the 12 Games of Christmas presented by the Unlockables podcast. I'd like to thank you so much for stopping by for whatever day in a row this is. I don't know because I haven't decided what order the episodes will come out. But I'd like to thank you for listening wherever, whenever in time and space you might be located. It means a lot. It means a lot you tune in for some Christmas festivities. Of course, if you've tuned in for the last episodes, you know that 12 Games of Christmas is a celebration of all things video games in 2022. It's a celebration of a fantastic year of Unlockables and my favorite games that I played this year. And of course, you know by now that I haven't been doing it alone. I've been inviting some of my good podcasting friends and collaborators back throughout this week to join in the festivities with me. And tonight is no different, for I have another guest waiting in the wings. Last Christmas, he gave you his heart, but the very next day, you threw it away. It is my good friend, Ryan from the List Off podcast. Ryan, how you doing today, sir?
Good, Eric. Good, man. Thanks for letting me be a part of this, dude. I will once again give you my heart and hope you hold on to it this year. I hope you hold on to it this year.
I've been holding on to it since I met you, sir. It's been an honor. And before we get going, you were, I think, probably the second guest on Unlockables when I started this crazy venture. It was pretty early on, if I remember.
Yeah, it definitely was, and I appreciate that, man. It was an awesome experience. Really cool when you get to speak about a side of you that you don't typically get to speak about, and I appreciate that opportunity, dude.
And I appreciate you supporting me when I told you guys about this idea and the things I wanted to do. You guys were on board from the start. So thank you so much for being a part of it this year. It definitely wouldn't have been as successful as it was without you and Brian, who unfortunately couldn't be here with us tonight. But, you know, him having a new child and all, he is stuck in the throes of fatherhood, which is incredible. Brian, if you listen to this, congratulations, sir. We're all very happy for you. And all of us will have to collaborate again here very soon. I've got some big plans for next year, which I'll be calling you to be a part of. So I hope you're ready for that.
Can't wait. Yeah, Brian, we wish you were here, but we're disappointed you're not.
Yeah. Sucking the Christmas spirit out of the air.
I'm sorry. I swear I'm not like a Scrooge, dude. I love Christmas. I love the holidays, man. I love Brian too. He knows it.
Yes. Speaking of the holidays, we are here to celebrate a game that we thought in 2022 that was fantastic. And of course, one of the games that we thought was incredible this year was Vampire Survivors. Vampire Survivors, better known by its Christian name, this game is really freaking good for some reason. Developed and published by Luca Galante, released in early access on December 17th, 2021, with a full 1.0 release on pretty recently, October 20th, 2022 for Windows and Mac OS. And it was released on Xbox on November 10th, 2022, which is definitely in the past and not 2 days from now. I don't know why you'd possibly think that. It got a 87 rating on Metacritic, 4 out of 5 stars PC Mag, 87 out of 100 PC Gamer, 7 out of 10 suspect IGN, very suspect. No major awards because it's kind of launched about this year, but it reached 70,000 concurrent players on Steam in February 2022, and it was nominated for Best Early Access Launch by the Golden Joystick Awards. A little bit about the guy who made it. Luca Galante created Vampire Survivors because he originally wanted to create a community based on his past experience being an admin for Ultima Online. The game was inspired by the mobile game Magic Survival, which has similar elements to Vampire Survivors. The development of the early access version took around a year and cost £1,100. And this game was so successful that it allowed Galante to quit his job and focus on solely making and improving Vampire Survivors. I've implemented for this 12 Games of Christmas the Christmas meter. I put 7 out of 10 candy canes for no reason, but there's a pure dopamine rush you get when you play this game. It's just so joyful. I said that that's a similar feeling you get to when you open presents on Christmas. So 7 out of 10 on the Christmas meter because this game is pure dopamine rush. So Ryan, let me bring you in here, sir. We have all been kind of talking about this game in our podcast circles for pretty much the last year, and it seems like every episode that somebody releases, somebody's going back to this game and playing it. So I just wanted to touch on, what was your brief experience playing Vampire Survivors in 2022?
Well, I think I first heard about it on your show. You were talking about it. Yeah. And, my first thought when I hear game is I think price tag, and I debate whether or not it's something I want to spend my money on. And the next time I heard of Vampire Survivors, I heard, oh, it's on sale. And it's on sale for like $2. So I picked it up. I picked it up for what I thought was an amazing deal, not knowing that it is normally $3. And I probably should have just picked it up the first time I heard about it. And man, I instantly fell in love. There's not a lot to this game, but also a deceptive amount to this game. The gameplay is like pure joy, pure adrenaline rush, the dopamine rush of joy, as you put it in your candy cane meter, which if that has to do with how much this relates to Christmas or the holidays, I would also argue there is religious theming in this game, which
you are correct.
May give it a bonus candy cane. I don't know. But man, yeah, you're smiling ear to ear the entire time you're playing this game. It was the perfect game to sit down, at first spend 10 minutes playing, and that one more. I just want to go one more. I want to see if I can push a little farther. And then eventually you're reaching the full 30 minutes fairly regularly and maxing out your characters, and then you just continually unlock more and more and get to see what the game really has to offer. And man, yeah, very happy that you are the person who first let me hear about this game, and very happy I made the tough decision to spend $2 on a video game, and I haven't looked back since.
Hey, a deal's a deal. So if you get a deal, that to me that's a great thing. And $2, what is that, like 33% off?
33% off, yeah.
Man, deals like that don't come around every day. I think you got to take advantage of it.
That's like the Nintendo maximum discount, I think, right there.
You're right. Yeah, $1
Yeah.
for their the AAA or their big titles. So right. I'm pretty sure Zelda still hasn't gone on sale, but who knows? But yeah, I started preaching this game, and I have to blame. It's kind of like a chain of people who like heard it from us, and I have to blame Shane from Retro Hangover. He was the one that I started hearing about it in January when I was listening to their shows, and like for 3 or 4 episodes in a row, he's like, "I'm just playing nothing but Vampire Survivors," and I was like, all right, I got to see what this is about. I got to see what's up with this. And yeah, when you go to Steam, it's literally, I don't know what it is now because it's a full 1.0 release, but it was $3. And I was like, well, I'd be stupid not to try this for $3. So, I mean, picked it up and yeah, experienced the same exact thing you did. It's such a simple game, but I think our friend Dave from Tales from the Backlog put it best when we were kind of all talking about it. He said it's video game distilled to like its purest form. It's fun. It makes you feel this sense of progression. It makes you feel so powerful in the way that you play. And anyone can pick it up and play it. There's one control, and you just move the character around the screen. Everything else auto fires. You don't have to worry about anything else. You just have to worry about where you need to move, and that's it. And I think that makes the game very accessible. And for whatever reason, all of these elements just came together to make a game that I'm still talking about at the end of this year, and it's on a list of games this year, despite all of the big titles we've had this year.
Right. I will say if it wasn't Luca's intent to bring in like gambling and casino elements and tap into that part of the brain, I would be shocked if it wasn't his intent to, because
right.
This game may be video games in their purest form, but it very much has the same sensation as gambling and winning, right? Like you're on a roll the whole time and you die very quickly. So that feeling of not being on a roll does not last long.
No.
And then, yeah, geez, man, just getting those unlocks and treasure chests and everything else it's an incredible feeling. There's very few things in gaming that compared to it. Numbers go up, right? Is a thing that you like to say on your show, and I've heard many people say it. this is the numbers go up, the game, right?
It really is, and it's deceptively simple, and it's one of the points I made on my sheet here. It's deceptively simple, in its basic. I'm trying to think of like how to describe it. In its basic gameplay aspects, it's very simple. You run around, you pick up power-ups that affect, essentially you have a build, you pick up power-ups that affect how you play the game, and then you try to just survive, like you said, 30 minutes until death comes and kills you. Or if you're on the last level, obviously last level things happen. I don't think I've played since the 1.0 release came out, so I'd have to go back and check that out. But if you look under the hood, like it's a game that can be played by any level of person that's into video games. So if it's on the surface level, you just like to run around and kill stuff, that's great. But if you look under the hood, you can even go into the pause menu and see that there's a lot of math, there's a lot of calculations, there's a lot of numbers going on under the hood. So if you're that type of person, like, yes, the numbers go up on the base level of you just playing this game running around. But if you go under the hood, the numbers go up even more, and you can get into some really, like, if you're a min-max person or you love like the, True. You know, like maximizing your stats or finding like the most optimal way to make the numbers go as high as possible, there's probably close to infinite amount of ways to do this with just the variety of characters, the variety of power-ups, the variety of different things you can do in the game to just, like, I got to the point where like I was starting to pause the menu and see like, okay, if I do this, like it makes these stats go up. Or if I do this, it makes those stats go up. Right. Or if I do this kind of build or spend things on this, like it makes these go up, and this worked better for me and I enjoyed that. So that's the point where I kind of got with it, and I was like, okay, I have to stop this because it's starting to consume my life a little bit.
That end screen that you're presented with too, whether you die or make it through the run, there's a lot of data there, and you could literally sit there for 2 minutes, as you say, and look at those numbers and figure out like how many total enemies you killed, what your damage per second was. Like, there is an overload of information if you take the time to read it. I got to be honest, the first 10 times, 15 times, 20 times, I just, okay, cool, on to the next run.
Right.
Because you want to see that progression. You want to get better. And as you unlock certain characters, they all have different abilities. And you know, just after 1 or 2 times playing the game, you already know like, oh, this character's ability will get me farther. Mm-hmm. Right. So you immediately jump on him and get pushed for like 2 minutes deeper into that 30-minute limit, or 5 minutes deeper into that 30-minute limit. And it feels like such a victory because it's that constant ratcheting of difficulty from the enemies on screen. Like, I think that was the most impressive thing. I have a very old computer. I think I have like a old GeForce 745 in here or something, which is like mostly for office applications. And it handled thousands of enemies on screen, I want to say. Like, I have an ultra wide monitor, and it like was incredible just to see the volume of creatures on my monitor. It was something I wouldn't have thought my computer would run. No matter how poor the graphical quality seems to be, it is very much that retro style. But yeah, the fact that my computer could run it without a hiccup, I mean, anybody could play Vampire Survivors. As you say, it's not just the inputs and the simplicity of the design. It's also that like this is super accessible regardless of what kind of system you're running it on. And now it's coming to console. I mean, it's been on console for more than a month.
Right. We're no way recording this way before Christmas time. It's like day of. Oh my goodness.
Of course. This guy's a genius, man. 1,100 pounds.
Yes.
To make this game, and then to price it at $3. Like, I know you never know if it's going to catch on like it did, but you're going to make your money back. Just if it gets the slightest bit of play, you're going to make your money back.
Right. If you game out the math, right, and I don't know what the conversion rate is, but I'm just going off of whatever it is. So yeah, you price this at $3, right? And like I mentioned in the earlier notes, you know, it topped 70,000 players at once on Steam. Mm-hmm. That's $210,000 right there. Your return on that is so insane. Like it's staggering to think about. I mean, you have these big game companies that put out these humongous games, you know, that they spend millions and millions of dollars on. And this guy comes along and puts out something for like a little over $1,000 and makes his money back hundreds of thousands of times over, and probably still is. He's gotten a team together now and is like working on the game in a more professional setting, but
it sold the Game Pass. I mean, that gave him money in his pocket. You know that. Yeah.
Got that Microsoft money, baby. Yeah. When Daddy Phil Spencer comes calling, you don't say no.
Right.
But yeah, that's it. It's an incredible success story, almost in the vein of, like Toby Fox and Undertale, something that he just didn't expect to take off, and it really did, and it changed his life. And it's a testament to how well designed the game is too. And this is something I've been kind of a champion of on my show. We have all these fantastic games that are, your Elden Ring, like this year alone, your Elden Rings, your Horizons, your, God of War Ragnarok, which is also totally out right now.
Yeah,
and we played.
Loved it.
Yeah, it was great. Fantastic.
Probably.
And these games that they put hundreds of millions of dollars into and get polished endlessly over and over again. And you just have this game it's such a simple premise, but it's just so it captures all the elements that make people want to come back and keep playing, like you said, almost like gambling. It's easy to get into. If you lose, it's fast. You're in another game before you know it. You're constantly getting rewards, bright, shining, flashing screen update, level ups, like you said, the chest. It's like, it's so just reinforces like positive, good feelings. Even when you die, like you don't feel bad. You're just like, man, I have fun. I just killed like 30,000 things on the screen. And when, like, if you haven't seen or played this game, like, he's not joking. It's literally thousands of things on the screen at one time. Like, some of these levels, when you get to like 28, 29 minute mark, you're just in the middle of a sea of enemy icons that you can't even see like where you are. There's so much stuff going on. Like, you're just like, I hope I'm gonna live through this. I don't know what's going on, so I'm just gonna stand here and hope for the best.
Yeah,
like, it's insane. It's literally insane.
And it's being that it's a 30-minute loop max that you could do over and over and over again. Once you get to the point where you can complete it, there's a lot of ways it could have gone wrong. I mean, the soundtrack completely loops on every stage, but it's good enough that you don't mind at all.
Right.
The sound design is the same effects for, contact, the treasure chests and all of that, the enemy sounds, the projectiles, but it's done really, really well. And honestly, like, it's super effective. That is one of the reasons you keep coming back, because that sound design is so good. And for it to be this repetitive loop that, I mean, I could have picked it up and played today, honestly, and had a great time with it. I did about a month ago. I jumped back on it because I was sitting at my computer and I was like, man, I kind of want to go through a round of Vampire Survivors. And I didn't have any staleness to it. I don't want to go back to Elden Ring. I spent like 90 hours in Elden Ring, right? I had my fill of Elden Ring. I may never play that game again, but I will 100% jump on Vampire Survivor. And that's not to say I didn't enjoy it. I did enjoy Elden Ring, but like, I also probably didn't play 90 hours of Vampire Survivors yet, so maybe that's an unfair comparison. But I would definitely jump back into one and probably not the other. And the game I would jump into is this one. So,
yeah, no, absolutely. And it's like you said, once you jump in, it's fast. You hit the icon on your computer, and maybe you're on the menu in like maybe 30 seconds, if that. You're in a game within a minute. Yeah. So it's something that, yeah, you can absolutely, I've got like a half hour of time, or I got a little bit of time before I got to do X thing. I want to get a little bit of gaming in. Yeah, it's Vampire Survivors. I would probably caution against this because when I first played this game, I was off. I want to say it was like right at the turn of the year, and I was off for New Year's, and my wife had to go to work because my wife had to go to work, and I was playing it, and I started playing it like noon, and I was like, I got something to do. I'll just get a couple games in. And next thing I knew, it was like 5:30 p.m. and my wife was home, and I was like, oh my God, like it's very like Ryan said, it has this, I call it the civilization effect, where it's just like, one more turn, one more. And the next thing you know, it's like 3 a.m. and you haven't slept and you have to get up for work.
Yeah. The Marvel Snap effect.
Yeah, it very much Marvel Snap effect. I haven't not played that game as much as you have, but I did catch myself. I was like, okay, I'm just going to play a couple games before I go to bed. And it's like midnight, and I'm like, that was more than a couple games. That was like 15 or 20 games.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely has that effect on you. Let me ask you this, Ryan. Did you have a preferred kind of set build that you'd like to go for, or certain items that you went after when you were playing?
Of course. Everybody did, right?
Yeah.
So as far as characters go, I think I probably have about 20 maybe more unlocked.
Yeah.
And I always kind of went for certain projectiles. So I didn't really like garlic. Early on, I did. Early on, I really liked garlic because it is like this almost fail safe for some of those early level enemies. They can't get close to you if you have garlic. It's like a constant defense in a small circle around you. But I found that the Bible, the King's Bible, I think they call it in the game, was much more effective. It does disappear at times, but man, it does so much more damage, and especially once you're in those deeper parts of the game, it will help you out a lot more. So I always tended to go for that. It really just, the axe, right, could max out really well. The boomerang I thought was cool. The cross that acts like a boomerang was cool. But it always comes down to a choice. And it's dependent on the options of that choice. So yes, I have like a hierarchy in my head of what I would choose over certain ones. But did I have a very clear favorite? It's really hard for me to say because there are so many strong options. But depending on what was presented in front of me at the time, there are ones I would definitely take over others. You know, I have to say maybe the axe. Maybe the axe would be the one I'd go for more than others because it starts out very, very slow, but it'll just crush anything near you. And if you were able to max that out and achieve like whatever they call it at the end, the exalted axe or whatever, you know.
I think it turns into like the scythe, I think, right?
Correct. And it shoots out in every direction and just obliterates anything in its path. And it does that like every 1 or 2 seconds. So you're just like, you're good if you get that thing. And all of the, you know, whatever highest form of any of the weapons are very, very effective. But did you have a favorite one that you would always go for?
So I gotta say, early on in the first couple months of playing the game, it's like I loved garlic as well, and I picked up the Bible a couple of times, and I was just like, I never got far enough with it where I was kind of like, oh, I didn't like it. But then hearing you guys talk about it on one of your shows, and you were just like, yeah, like the Bible is incredible. I was like, all right, I gotta try this, and I was like, yeah, the Bible is way better than garlic. Like I was so afraid to play without garlic because I was like, it's a safety net that I can like protect myself with, but the Bible does like the same thing but better. I mean, when you level that up to like the exalted, it basically becomes like a buzzsaw around you. It's nonstop. So that was one I went with quite frequently. The axe was another one that I liked a lot. And then I liked getting the lightning strike too. The lightning strike is kind of sporadic when you start with it, and it's kind of like all over the place. But once you level it up, it's like chaining across the map and just
that and the holy water was good.
The holy water was good, and I didn't like that at first too. But then when I got that leveled up enough, I was like, wow, like this is really good. And I think this is a strength in the game's favor where it's like there might be when like people that look at this on like a very, very deep like numbers level there might be like some meta or hierarchy of weapons that are like very good. But if you're just coming at this and you're not like that into it, I think all of the weapons at some point or another like are playable. Like I've beaten multiple different levels with like multiple different setups. And so it really lends itself to like creating a custom play style around the way like you like to play. And I think that's really cool, and it encourages experimentation and you almost have to experiment with different items to like unlock things because if you get to certain end levels with like different exalted weapons or do different things, like you unlock more characters, you unlock achievements, you unlock things that you can buy with the gold, you unlock new weapon. I remember I got a weapon when I played like last month. It was like a mine cart or like a cart that shoots out from you or something like that. Yeah, and you're just like, this is a new weapon, like 4 levels in, I've never seen before. So I think
like it's the cat. Have you seen the cat?
I have seen the cat. Yeah, I unlocked a character who I think starting weapon is the cat.
Yeah. And there's like a wheel. Yeah, all sorts. Of crazy stuff. It's unbelievable how. And I think I saw in the 1.0 release they added like the Holy Gospel or something. It's like the last weapon they added or something like that. It's just it's awesome they've been supporting this game throughout like its lifetime and how successful it is. Just keeps adding more, but it's approachable. You can play it however you want. Like, if people are just like, oh, don't use it. If you like using the garlic, absolutely use the garlic because I think in its final form, it's pretty good. It's just, it's up to you and it's however you want to play. And I think that's really great that it's that accessible. Definitely. And one smart thing that they did with the options, so you can use some of the in-game gold to purchase buffs for your character.
Yes.
Basically like, oh, I'm going to focus on strength or speed or get money faster or whatever. I thought it was incredibly smart that they could let you respec that at any point. So if you see like, oh, this hasn't been working, you could just pull back all the gold you invested into that and, reallocate it however you choose. And it just helps with ease of use. You don't ever feel held back like, oh, now I just got to grind to get these other attributes up. Like, no, just pull your money back and like use it differently. And that's really cool, man. Hats off to a developer that thinks about the player in that aspect. Like, you're not trying to get us to put a bunch of time into it that feels like you're grinding. You're just like, no, here, like, have fun with the game I made. And that's really cool.
Now that you mention that, it does really hit like all of the checkboxes that I guess older gamers like us are kind of looking for, or just kind of looking at the arc and the way the industry has gone over the last few years. It's like, it's a game that respects your time. It's a game that makes you feel good because there's constant progression and you see the numbers go up. It's a game that, like you said, it gives you that option to, hey, something's not working. All right, well, give me everything I invested back and let me try and do something else. Not, well, I guess you're screwed. You can respec, but you got to start from zero and collect money again. That's incredible. Would you say, I don't know if I would call this game a roguelite, but it has like the roguelite elements like that.
I don't think it's a roguelike. It's not like your runs are for a specific end or anything like that. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's like playing an early video game with a lot of the polish of modern video games, maybe.
Right.
Like something like an early arcade game where, it really only has 30 minutes of fun in it, like a 30-minute run, but
it's not trying to eat all your quarters.
Right. This has progression, whereas like that arcade game wouldn't. Yeah, exactly. And it's not like just made for you to die, although this game is kind of made for you to die. Like it's going to happen in 30 minutes,
Right. And even if you complete those levels, even if you advance whatever kind of story there is in this game, I've read that the 1.0 release has like a kind of ending to it, which I haven't checked out yet. So yeah, I definitely have to go in and check that out. But even if you beat those levels and unlock new ones, like you'll still find yourself going back to the earlier levels just to try things out and just to play in the different levels. I know I certainly did. This game, I think we've definitely praised it enough. Keeping these episodes a little bit shorter here, but this is not one that I would recommend anybody if it's still at its cheap price point. Like, pick this up. It's incredible to me to think that we have, such incredible looking games that came out this year. We had Elden Ring, we had Horizon, we had Stray, like these incredible games that had so many years and so many hours put into them. And a game as simple as Vampire Survivors is on a list with all these other games that we're talking about this year. And just goes to show you don't have to be the biggest, the best to be the most fun, the most successful game. If you just if you have a good idea and you have a good premise and you make a game based off that and coming at it from the approach of, hey, I want it to be fun. I want it to respect the player's time. And I want it to be something that, sure, you don't have to devote 90 hours to it, but you can come back to it in smaller increments whenever you want. I think that's a recipe for excellent success, if you ask me.
Yeah, and this game achieved it. So I would echo all of that. This is 100% worth your time and even worth your money. It's on Game Pass now, so if you have Game Pass, you have the game, and try it that way, or just spend the $3 on it because you'll know if it's for you or not for you, and I'm 100% sure either way you won't regret spending the $3 on it. And I think you'll get your $3 worth of enjoyment out of it, regardless of whether you dive deeper into it or don't. There is some crazy stuff in this game if you do dive deeper. When I picked it up about a month ago, I found something called the yellow sign. And you're going through one of the levels and everything distorts and it's like you're on a bad trip. Oh. And all of a sudden you reappear in this corridor and all your weapons have reset and you just have to keep going down this corridor, which seems like forever until you reach the end. And at the end of it, there's like a river of stained glass. And in that river, there is an item called the yellow sign, and it does something that benefits you in the game. But it was the trippiest thing I experienced in this game, and it doesn't really have those kind of moments in it, so it took me by surprise. I honestly probably will jump back in now that the 1.0 is out, because if they've made more changes or introduced more aspects like that, then there's enough there to keep me going. And it's, as you say, like, this is a replayable game. It is a fun game. And yes, there are heavy hitters and big AAAs and $100 million games. This isn't one of those, but that doesn't mean it's not a great video game, because it 100% is. It's, yeah, you will have a good time with Vampire Survivors.
In an age when the conversation around games increasingly seems to be dollar cost versus amount of hours of entertainment provided, I think that's a stupid argument. But if you were to make that argument, man, I don't think there's a better value versus cost game out there than Vampire Survivors. I mean, I don't think it gets much better than that at all. We've sung this game's praises, and this is a game you should check out this year. You should not miss it. Now you have the opportunity to. It's on Game Pass, or it will be on Game Pass in 2 days, maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to maintain the time.
It's a month ago, Eric.
You're right. I'm trying to maintain the timeline. It's just too difficult. But we might be living all in bunkers right now. I don't know.
It's a tough time to ask one man to maintain the timeline. We are throwing it out of whack every day. You can only do what you can.
Absolutely. We try our best. But yes, this is a glowing recommendation from both of us. And go play it right now. I think is it Steam Deck compatible off the top?
I'm sure it is.
You know?
It has
to. So
be.
if you have a Steam Deck, I feel like this is a perfect Steam Deck game. And I'm waiting to see if it comes to Switch, because if it comes to Switch, my life is probably going to be over, because it seems like a perfect Switch game. So, but yeah, experience it now any way you can. It's definitely worth it. And it is one of the best games this year, hands down. So with that being said, Ryan, thank you so much for coming on and having a little chit chat with me. I really appreciate it. Would you like to take the time here to just kind of let the people know where you're from, where they can find you? If this is somebody's first episode, I'd love to introduce you to them.
Sure. Yeah. Just honestly, thank you so much for letting me come on and letting me choose the game too, which was really cool. And yes, I chose this game because, we do our own Game of the Year list, and you'll probably hear about many of the other games on our list as well. But thank you, Eric, and Merry Christmas to you and yours, and to everybody out there. I want to wish you happy holidays, and hope you get a chance to be with your loved ones and enjoy it. But we also have a podcast. You could find that. You could listen to it if you want to. We're anywhere you get your podcasts, List Off Podcast. We're also on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok. We're on TikTok. But yeah, all you have to do is Google List Off Podcast. We're the one with Brian and Ryan. And I hope you check us out.
It's a high recommend from me. List Off has been in my weekly rotation for like the last 2 years now. I don't know what I would do with you guys without you guys. So if you don't, I don't need to sell the show. The show's fantastic. Go listen to it. It's absolutely incredible. There's so many lists. You're guaranteed to find one on something that you like. And kudos to you guys for coming up with lists every week. Because
every 2 weeks now.
2 weeks now.
Yeah.
But still, that's a lot of lists. I would have freaked out like after 10 lists. I'd have been like, well, I'm out of ideas now. So the level of creativity, passion, and value that you guys bring in your show is absolutely incredible. So,
thank you, man. The fear was there for running out of ideas very early on, but then it's like we got so many we don't even know what to do with them now.
Here's like 10 more years of List Off, baby. Let's go. Don't even got to worry about it. But yes, thank you so much. And Merry Christmas to you and yours as well.
Thanks, man.
And to everybody listening out there, we're in the thick of 12 games of Christmas, perhaps, or near the end. I don't know when I'm going to schedule this episode, honestly. But we're in the thick of it. And if you stuck with us so far, thank you so much. We hope you're enjoying it. And to sign off and leave you with these words of wisdom, around this time of the year, make sure you know where grandma is, because there are reindeer out and she could be in danger. Have a Merry Christmas, everybody.